This is a Lafayette TE-20 signal generator. It is very traditional to all the other signal generators that you would see from this era. You have multiple bands of harmonic-filled generation from 120 kilohertz to 260 megahertz, very large range. You have internal modulation, probably about like 500, 600 hertz, and you can control how much there is. You can control how much RF there is. There's high and low RF outputs for some reason. I never understood that. And you can do external modulation. All the features that you would expect from other things, like the ICO 720 I have sitting around somewhere, or many other clones and similar things that were created from this period. But this should be an easy project, and I'm feeling the need to just get something done today. So I'm going to work on this. It should take like an hour or two, hopefully, and we'll get it done. I got this at the Huntsville Hamfest last year. Had a great time, met a lot of cool people, including Smarter Every Day. That was pretty neat. But I was looking at the table for the Signals Museum in Huntsville, and they had a bunch of equipment they were getting rid of or trying to sell that I'm sure they've collected at the museum and didn't need anymore. And this was one piece of it. So I was picking this up, and I was walking and talking and looking at it, and I saw three TVs, Conrack C&B8s. I'm looking at them, but I don't want to get them out right now. I have them, obviously, 'cause I got them, and I wanted that and this signal generator. It had a number 2 on it, so I thought that meant $2. No, it was item 2. Uh, it was $20, and I thought, well, I'm not going to buy this for $20. I have a bunch of these styles of signal generators. I don't need another one. They're not very good, right? They're good enough, but once you have one, you have one. You have enough that you need. Well, as I was holding this, the handle broke. The leather just completely snapped, and I almost dropped it. And so I'm thinking, okay, now I've broken it. I have to buy it, right? I didn't want to spend $20 on this because I didn't want it originally. And then the guy says, you can have this and the 3 TVs for 25. And I said, sold. I don't need this, but I want the TVs. So this is a freebie that came with them. And I'm finally working on it. It's been sitting on my bench ever since then. I've done absolutely nothing with it. A good friend of mine, I will link his channel in the description, Janno, was talking with me about this, and he has one. It's made by a brand called Honor, and it looks the exact same as this. This uses Honor capacitors in here, so I think it's all the same brand. And he was talking about some things that I should be careful of. For example, these coils right here. I'm going to be super gluing them, but when taking the case off, I have to worry about the case scratching against the coils. They're not in very good position. All these capacitors need to be replaced except for this little ceramic, that one right there and all that. It looks like it was constructed pretty well. I'm very pleased with the build quality, but the parts obviously aren't good anymore. I'll hold this up to the camera real quick. You can see that. I think it looks very beautiful inside. So whoever built this should be proud of their work. But it wasn't designed to last forever, and it hasn't lasted forever. So time for me to fix it all up again.
Editing voiceover time, I just realized I totally forgot to record a voiceover for this section of the video. Wow, that's crazy. I keep doing that. But anyway, so we're doing the usual stuff right now, taking it apart, generally blowing dust off, cleaning capacitors. The 2 capacitors that I checked with that capacitor tester you can see were perfectly fine, the power supply ones. So I kept those in there, which is great because that means I don't have to replace them, don't have to spend money on new parts, that's all great. But all the paper capacitors in the unit, those gotta go. So replace them one by one. Nothing else looked bad. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure there were no bad resistors in this one, which is good. It's extra parts I have to worry about. All the time, I swear, all the time I have to worry about these leads going everywhere in places I don't want them to go. It takes up so much of my time when repairing these things. Very little of it is actually replacing the parts, and a lot of it is forming the leads properly, getting the parts to stay in there, and maneuvering around wires and leads and things that don't want to move when you need them to. It's an absolute mess. But anyway, back to the little bit of voiceover that I did record. Yay.
The RF level potentiometer was a bit stiff, so some WD-40 and working it around a few times fixed that up nicely enough. And then to clean off all the WD-40 on the panel, I use soapy water. Very gentle, though. Alright, bit of a close-up shot here, but I'll see if I can make this something that you can actually look at. You can see that in this switch right here, we have a little, let me get my pliers. Alright, bit of a close-up shot, but I hope I can show you what I'm looking at. In this switch, we have a little metal piece here, a spring, and a phenolic wafer with this little metal piece, kind of like a circle down there. And you can't really see it, but there's another circle down here, below the phenolic wafer, and that's the other portion of the switch. When the potentiometer is rotated, a metal tab grabs this part of the switch and rotates it, causing this part of the spring to move up, and that makes that part of the spring want to move down, pushing the phenolic wafer down and making it touch the little tiny sliver of this little metal piece that you can barely see in there. Well, the wafer wasn't moving down. This metal part would just go up and the spring would just be compressed and the wafer wouldn't move. So I used my second favorite thing in the universe behind contact cleaner, WD-40, and put it on this little hinge that everything swings on. And now it's working great. I accidentally put too much WD-40, so I'm going to add a little contact cleaner by the contacts themselves, because you don't want WD-40 on switch contacts. And I don't want to open the switch up again. This is the third time I've done it, and it will. The little tabs that hold together are bending and breaking off because of the number of times I've moved them. So I don't want to open it up again without, or else I'll have to solder it back together. But I'm pretty sure this switch is fixed. So I'm just going to put it back together in stages and see if it works at each stage. I added the fuse, and then while I was drilling, I was informed by Janno, remember him, that this chassis has cadmium in it, so that's not good, and I will be more careful next time with ventilation and masking and all that stuff, because I really don't want to breathe in toxic metals. But that's for next project. Back to this one. Fuse is in there. Time to redo the line cord and run it to the fuse so that it actually does something.